The art of distance.
You didn't become easy to disrespect by accident. You trained people on the price of your attention. You reply fast. You forgive fast. You return fast. And every time you do, you announce one thing: I will be here, no matter what. That is why your presence stops feeling like a gift. It starts feeling like a guarantee. So this is the art of distance. How to withdraw your energy in a way that creates respect, not chaos, not coldness, not games, not vanishing to punish. Distance as discipline. Philothrone turns philosophy into self-mastery, so you can sit on the throne of your own mind. Now listen carefully. Right now, you live in one of two traps. One, you become the doormat, always available, always absorbing, always smoothing things over, even when it costs you your spine. Or you become the ice wall. You go silent, you disappear. You call it boundaries. But inside, you are still watching the door, still waiting for them to feel it. Both lose. One loses respect, the other loses connection. There is a third posture, the sovereign. You don't chase, you don't punish, you govern access. So ask yourself, and don't answer quickly. When you pull back, do people adjust? Or do they rage because they were feeding on your availability? Because distance isn't absence. Distance is pricing. If your attention is always on sale, people treat it like clearance. If your presence has terms, people approach it with care. That is not cruelty. That is the structure. Now we go under the surface. Here is the uncomfortable root. You tell yourself you are loyal. You tell yourself you are supportive. But loyalty can hide fear. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of being replaced. Fear that if you stop giving, you stop mattering. So you become useful. You become responsive. You become the person who never makes anyone wait. Then you act shocked when they treat you like a service. Nietzsche would call this dependence dressed as virtue. Not because kindness is weak, because you turned kindness into proof of worth. Be honest. When you say, I'm loyal, are you loyal? Or are you terrified that if you stop performing, you stop being chosen? Now, picture a scene. A message lands. We need to talk. Your stomach drops, like an elevator cable snapped. Your chest tightens. Your mouth goes dry. You start drafting replies before you even know the charge. You're not communicating. You're negotiating for safety. That isn't love. It's a leash. And the humiliating part? You're the one holding it. Now watch the mechanism. You get a message late at night. Not kind, not clear, heavy. Your thumb moves before your mind does. You answer like you're defusing a bomb. And the moment you do, something locks in. Expectation. Humans don't honor what is endless. They normalize it. They build a routine around it. Your fast reply becomes their baseline. Your patience becomes their permission. Your availability becomes their entitlement. Then they stop approaching you with care. They start approaching you like a vending machine. Press the button, receive comfort. Let this land. The more automatic your access is, the less valuable it feels. And once you become always, you stop being chosen. You become used to it. Now, here's where it turns into a trap. You answer anxiety with immediacy. Someone is tense, and your nervous system treats it like an alarm, so you rush to fix it. Not for them, so you can feel relief. So ask yourself one clean question. What if your fastest reply is your fastest self-betrayal. Your attention is a credit line. Every instant reply is a withdrawal. Keep swiping for other people, and you hit emotional overdraft. Then you do the next thing that kills your power. You over-explain. You think clarity is kindness, so you add reasons. But reasons are handled, and the wrong person grabs handles. They don't hear your boundary. They hear permission to negotiate. They argue the reason. They twist the reason. They turn the reason into guilt.
So answer this without flinching. When you give a boundary, are you setting a limit, or are you begging to be approved? A boundary is a fence. You don't decorate a fence with a speech. You build it. You stand behind it. You let it stand. Because the moment your boundary requires persuasion, it becomes a request. And here's the hidden cost. Now look into Machiavelli's mirror. He wasn't teaching cruelty. He was teaching consequence. What you tolerate becomes the blueprint. If you accept crumbs, you teach people you live on crumbs. If you accept disrespect with a smile, you teach people disrespect is safe around you. So stop hunting for intent. Look at outcomes. You keep debating with people who benefit from confusion. You keep clarifying with people who keep misunderstanding, but only when misunderstanding serves them. That is a trap. So here is a new scene. A provocation arrives dressed as a question. Can you talk right now? It's urgent. Old you drop everything. Old you rushes to prove loyalty. New you pauses. You breathe. You feel your body reaching for relief. You refuse to buy it. Then you answer from principle, not panic. I can talk tomorrow, not tonight. One sentence. No apology, no essay. Now notice your body. Do you feel the flinch when you imagine saying it? That flinch is the exact place you've been giving yourself away. Respect can't live where access has no price. And access has no price when your yes is automatic. Now we go deeper. The part that doesn't look like weakness. Jung warned you. What you refuse to face will control you from behind. And your neediness doesn't always look like neediness. Sometimes it looks like competence. Sometimes it looks like humor. Sometimes it looks like being chill. Sometimes it looks like you are doing emotional labor nobody requested. Now watch what happens when someone pulls away. Not dramatically, slower replies, shorter tone. And your body reacts like the floor moves. So you perform. You send the check-in message. You offer reassurance they didn't earn. You over-explain your intentions like you're in court. You call it maturity, but you are buying security. And security purchased is never secure. It expires the moment you stop paying. So let's make the choice visible. The doormat begs for peace. The ice wall withholds to be chased. The sovereign reduces access without begging or punishing. The doormat says, please don't leave. The ice wall says, suffer so you feel me. The sovereign says, this is the standard, adjust or exit. And if you need them to panic to feel powerful, you are still owned. Here's where it gets dangerous. Resentment builds like pressure in a sealed container. You swallow it, you smile. Then one day you crack over something small, and you create chaos you swear you never wanted. Clean distance prevents that. Clean distance is shadow practice. It forces you to sit without being needed. It forces you to hear your own thoughts without using other people as noise. It asks the question you avoid. If you stop earning love, do you still believe you deserve it? Hold that. Because when the answer becomes yes, distance stops feeling like abandonment and starts feeling like dignity. Now we make it physical.
Distance begins with one move: the deliberate pause. When a demand arrives, when a provocation arrives, when an urgent message lands, you don't answer from the first wave. You wait. 5 minutes, 30, an hour. Long enough for your nervous system to stop chasing relief. In that pause, ask one question. If I reply instantly, what am I trying to control? Then answer what is yours to control: your tone, your availability, your standard. Sometimes you respond with one sentence. Sometimes you respond with, "Not today." Sometimes your response is silence. And silence is not emptiness. Silence is a boundary with no loopholes. Now, something changes when you stop being instantly reachable. Your presence regains gravity. Your attention becomes a choice, not a reflex.
Your yes starts sounding expensive because it costs you something. You don't need drama to pull back. You need consistency. Now, a correction. Most people pull back the wrong way. They don't withdraw. They detonate. They ghost in adrenaline. They vanish for days, then reappear hungry for attention. That isn't distance. That is emotional arson. Burning the room because you didn't know how to open a window. Clean distance is quieter. It is the ability to reduce access without reducing dignity. So tell the truth. Do you pull back with calm, or do you pull back hoping they panic? If you need them to panic, you are still controlled by them. Here is the simplest test. If your distance is meant to create guilt, it's manipulation. If your distance is meant to create clarity, it's mastery. Coldness says, "I want you to feel pain." Distance says, "I refuse to live in disorder." Now, we audit the leaks, because power leaks through small, daily habits. First leak: you chase closure. Someone withdraws, and you rush to clear the air. But what you are chasing is relief. You want the tension gone more than you want the truth, so you accept half answers to stop discomfort. Here is the hard truth. Closure is not something you demand. It's something you observe. If a person is vague, inconsistent, evasive, that is the closure. Second leak: you overcorrect for being human. You feel anger and you soften it. You feel disappointment and you hide it behind jokes. You feel a boundary rise in your throat and you swallow it, so you don't look difficult. That is how you become spiritually quiet, not calm, muted. A muted person is easy to step over because they never create friction. And friction is how people learn there are limits. Third leak: you stay past the moment of respect. You keep talking after the conversation turns stupid. You keep texting after the tone turns careless. You keep giving after the exchange turns unequal. Ask yourself, do you leave while you still respect yourself, or only after you're drained and resentful? If you leave after you're empty, you start associating distance with bitterness. If you leave early, you learn boundaries can be clean. So here is your grounded rule. End the interaction while you still feel warmth. Leave on oxygen, not on fumes. Because distance isn't punishment. It's an exit before your soul starts keeping score. Now breathe. You've named the trap. You've seen the mechanism. You've felt the flinch. You are not confused. You are deciding. And here is the quiet test. After you set the boundary, you don't stand there listening for footsteps. You don't refresh the phone waiting for a verdict. You let the silence be real. You let your nervous system learn a new truth. Not every gap is rejection. Not every pause must be repaired. Not every distance must be explained. One more correction. You don't withdraw to make them behave.
You withdraw to stop betraying your standards. That is why this feels unsettling. The old you believes love is proven by endurance, but endurance without discernment becomes self-erasure. So rehearse in private. Say the boundary out loud, alone, in a calm voice. I'm not available tonight. I won't discuss this in that tone. I need time. I'll reply later. Now notice the urge to add a paragraph. That urge is the wound. Then do something small that proves sovereignty. Clean your space. Finish one task. Take a walk without your phone. Sit in silence for 3 minutes. Not for productivity, for identity. Because a sovereign doesn't wait to be respected. You behave like someone who respects himself. And if you fail tomorrow, good. Failure shows you where the addiction lives. Return to the pause. Return to the fence. Return to the gate you're building. Each return is a vote for the person you're becoming. Your energy becomes yours again. Now we make it practical. 4 laws that keep distance clean so you don't become cruel
and you don't create chaos. The Stoics give you a lever. Control what is yours. Release what is not. So these laws are not about winning people. They're about ending self-betrayal. First law: withdraw energy, not dignity. No insults, no contempt, no revenge lessons. You stop over-investing. Because when you withdraw with ego, you start wars. And wars keep you emotionally tied to the person you claim to be leaving. Second law: reduce frequency before you reduce warmth. Reply later, not colder. Shorten access, not your character. Warmth with structure creates respect. Warmth without structure creates entitlement. Picture a late call again, demanding your time. You answer once, calm. I'm heading to bed. I'll talk tomorrow. Steady voice, closed door. That door teaches a lesson. Your life is not a public lobby. Third law: let silence do the teaching. Most people destroy their power by talking past their boundary. They turn a fence into a debate stage. A clear no is a sentence. A desperate no is a paragraph. So tell the truth. Do you talk because you need to be understood, or because you can't tolerate being disliked? When you can tolerate being misunderstood, you become unmanipulable. That is where control begins. Fourth law: match reality, not hope. Stop giving full intimacy to partial integrity. Stop paying full price for half effort. If someone offers inconsistency, you offer structure. If someone offers confusion, you offer distance. If someone offers disrespect, you offer absence. Not a dramatic absence, quiet absence. The kind that leaves no handle to grab. This is not hatred, it's accurate. And now the laws demand a test. Because you need a gate, not a wall. A wall is fear. A gate is discernment. So before you give access, run the gate test. 3 questions, answered in the body, not fantasy. First question: do they respect you without punishment? If you don't trigger sulking, rage, guilt, or silent retaliation, that isn't love. That is control. Second question:
Do they repair without being begged? If you have to chase accountability, you are parenting an adult. Third question: do you feel safer after contact or smaller? Your body keeps receipts your mind tries to dismiss. If the answers are bad, you don't argue. you adjust access. And you do it with language that leaves no cracks. I'm not available for that. I'm not discussing this in that tone. I need time. I'll respond later. Notice what's missing. No justification, no performance, no pleading to be understood. Machiavelli would call it reputation management. Jung would call it integration. The Stoics would call it discipline. Because your words are not for their comfort. Your words are for your alignment. Now let one question cut. If someone can only handle you when you are endlessly accommodating, do they love you? Or do they love your compliance? That question hurts. Good. Pain is where illusion dies. Now, expect your environment to test you. Not always maliciously. Sometimes it's a habit colliding with your new standard. The doormat explains. The ice wall disappears. The sovereign repeats the boundary, then continues his life. Here's a public moment. A friend jokes at your expense. Old you laughs to keep peace, then replays it all night. New you smiles once, then says, "Don't do that with me." Then you move on. No lecture, no humiliation. A line in the sand. If they call you sensitive, let them. Sensitivity isn't weakness when it's precise. Precision is what makes boundaries believable. Now we seal this with signals. 5 signals of quiet power. Small behaviors that change the atmosphere around you. First signal. You respond. You don't react. A sharp message arrives. You don't mirror the heat. You identify the request, and you answer the request. Nothing else. If there is no request, you don't debate tone. You end the exchange. Provocation is not authority. Second signal. You don't chase clarity from people committed to confusion. They shift the story.
They dodge the question. They call you dramatic, then act innocent. You stop chasing the story. You observe the pattern, then you step back. Confusion is not a mystery to solve. It's often a strategy to keep you off balance. Third signal. You stop donating explanations. You give decisions, not dissertations. I can't. I won't. Not available. You will feel guilt. Let it pass through you like the weather. Guilt is not proof you're wrong. Sometimes guilt is proof you're growing. Your boundary is not a debate invitation. Fourth signal. You protect your mornings and your evenings. Because the day begins and ends in your hands, not inside someone else's chaos. If you start your day consuming demands, you rent your mind. If you end your night chasing reassurance, you train insomnia. So you build a ritual, a walk, a journal, a shower without your phone, a few pages of something that strengthens you. You can't be sovereign in a mind you don't own. Fifth signal. You end conversations before you're drained. You leave on oxygen, not on fumes. You exit while you still respect yourself. Ask yourself, do you stay to be nice and then become cruel in your head? Leaving early is how you stay clean. You don't have to bleed to prove you cared. These signals do one thing. They turn your presence from a guarantee into a privilege. Now comes the experiment, not decoration, a detox. Because your body is addicted to the relief of being needed, you reply fast, soothe fast, fix fast. Not for them, for your own tension. So when you stop, expect withdrawal. Expect your mind to bargain. Expect people to test. And remember this, distance doesn't create their reaction. It reveals it.
Now we run a 7-day sovereign protocol. One rule: you don't buy relief with your dignity. On the first day, you live by the pause rule. For 24 hours, you do not reply immediately to anything that spikes emotion. You wait at least 30 minutes. In that pause, ask, what am I trying to control with speed?
Then respond from principle. Tomorrow you'll crave relief. Don't purchase it with submission. On the second day, you run an access audit. Write the 3 people, places, or platforms that consume most of your attention. Next to each, write what you receive: respect, neutrality, depletion. Reduce one access point by 20%. One fewer check, one fewer call, one less scroll. The leak you refuse to close becomes the life you can't escape. On the third day, you set one clean boundary. Choose one boundary you've been avoiding. State it once. One sentence. No apology. Then stop talking. If they push, repeat the same sentence. Same tone, same calm. If they can argue your boundary, it was never a boundary. On the fourth day, you do the self-return. When you feel the urge to chase, redirect that energy into yourself. Walk, train, work, create. Handle one task you've been avoiding. Nietzsche's challenge wasn't to be admired. It was strong enough to stand alone. This is where you learn if you respect yourself. On the fifth day, you practice the selective yes. Say yes only where your yes is clean. If you feel an obligation, delay the answer. If you feel dread, decline. If you feel the urge to over-explain, shorten the sentence. A clean no is the beginning of a clean life. On the sixth day, you set a dignified no initiation window. Choose a 6-hour window where you do not initiate. You do not pursue. You do not check. No checking in. No fishing for signs. If they reach out respectfully, respond after the window. If they respond with guilt, accusations, panic, take note. Distance doesn't create their reaction. It reveals it. On the seventh day, you deliver the verdict. Review the week and tell the truth. Where did distance create peace? Where did it expose manipulation? Where did it expose your addiction? Write 3 sentences. I am not responsible for other people's comfort. My attention is earned, not demanded. I will not abandon myself to be chosen. Read them out loud. Not like a mantra, like a verdict. Now you either return to old patterns or you evolve. Now bring it home. The art of distance is not about making people miss you. It's about making you real to yourself again. You are not building a wall. You are building a gate. A wall is fear. A gate is discernment. The right people don't fear your boundaries. They respect them. The wrong people call your standards cold because they preferred you unprotected. So here is the question that ends this. Where are you still offering full access to someone who gives you partial respect? If this made you see yourself clearly, like the video. In the comments, write one boundary you will hold this week without explaining it, and who it's for. Subscribe to Philo Throne for more philosophy on power, silence, discipline, and self-mastery. Next time, we'll talk about who gets access to you.